Actually, I have to say I'm really enjoying directing this play, partly because it's such a good play and partly because of what it's about. And something else as well, something surprising about it, which I'll tell you when I've talked about the play a bit, so I'll just keep you hanging on there. Yeah, it's a play about Ruth Ellis. I guess most people these days know about Ruth Ellis, apart from the one thing I'm going to tell you about. Being the last woman to be hanged in 1955 when she was 28 years old. And the play revolves around Ruth. I mean, sort of obviously. But it's not about whether she was guilty or not, because she was. Not about whether she should have been hung, because actually the judge, given what he knew and given the punishment system at the time, sort of didn't have a choice. It's about her. About who she was, what she was, and the way she deteriorated before the events took place, which we know about, and which almost, but not quite, ends the play. One of the interesting things about the play, for me, but I think for any of the audience who come and see it, will be that the music in the play, which is scripted into the play, is all by Billie Holiday. And initially I thought, well, that's because it's of the time, the 1950s, and because the music is right. Love for Sale, for instance, Good Morning Heartache, all the right sort of accompaniments to the play. But then you discover that actually, and this isn't in the play, that Billie Holiday's background was very much the same as Ruth Ellis's in a lot of ways. Essentially, they were both actually ruined by their childhoods, and it destroyed them, really. It took Billie Holiday slightly longer to be destroyed, but just like Ruth Ellis, who, as we see in the play, her background with men is hopeless, and so is Billie Holiday's. Ruth Ellis was hung when she was 28, and Billie Holiday was in her 50s, became famous obviously, but then died of heroin addiction, alcoholism, and her love life was just a ruin from beginning to end. The surprising thing is this, I've got an old school friend, and when he discovered I was directing this play about Ruth Ellis, he contacted me and said that actually his aunt worked in the prison service in the 1950s, and she actually sat with Ruth Ellis in the dock every day during the trial at the Old Bailey. And when she was condemned, and she was in the condemned cell, the aunt was with her in the condemned cell on the day of the execution and gave her a glass of brandy just before she was led away. She never told anybody about this except her family, but actually I relayed this to the great cast that I've got. And if you come and see this play, you might spot something at the end of the play which nobody but you will know.